Did you just yuck?
We officially watched every possible Goofy song.
Yeah, that was it.
We watch all of them, dude.
Unless we're not counting the possum thing, the animated possum song.
Yeah, but I don't know if that counts. Oh, you know what? You're thinking of the Chuck E. Cheese one.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was also the...
But also, they weren't really singing in it.
That's true. That's true. They were Milli Vanilli in it. There was another movie. Did you ever see the Extremely Goofy movie?
I did, and it was pretty bad.
Was it like same time period, like, or was it like 10 years later?
It was definitely later. It was probably like 5 years later, I'd assume. Mm-hmm. And it was like direct to DVD sequel, like remember how like Aladdin had that like Jafar movie that was like you'd see it at Safeway. But no, yeah, it was super weird. It was like Max goes to college, and then Goofy becomes his like dorm mate. But then also now Max is like super into skateboarding.
Yeah.
And then Pete's son gets into like poetry because of a girl. And then yeah, it's weird.
So it's very realistic.
Yeah, very, remember like when we both went to college and our dads married the librarian because he went to college too?
Yes.
Yeah,
and we also lived with our parents in college, so that works.
We did.
It
did. Works out, yeah.
We were extremely goofy, dude. But I didn't realize that was that old, because I remember watching it as a kid, and I remember thinking like I was the only kid that knew of this movie. Like I had it on video. But I feel like
a Goofy movie? Like the original one?
The Goofy movie.
Really?
Goofy. I don't know.
You thought you're like... You had like hidden knowledge.
Yeah, I was like, do people know that this is a movie? I would like reference it, and I would think I was like the coolest. Because the songs that were fucking fire, dude.
I remember the Goofy movie as like a movie. But yeah, it wasn't. I don't remember seeing it in like movie theaters or anything. I might have been too young at the time.
See, I'm surprised that none of those songs.
I definitely had like every Disney tape though.
Yeah, I had Hercules. I didn't see Lion King until I was like way too old. I think I only had Hercules, and I had, you know what movie I had that I never really, I had All Dogs Go to Heaven.
I had that movie.
And I had Aristocats.
I had that movie too.
And I remember,
I had like Tales from, or the Adventures from Down Under, or Tales, or I forget what it's called.
I also had this Disney sing-along thing that was like live action, where it was like at Disney World, and it was like, they had this like spooky song. It was like the creepiest fucking thing I ever saw in my life. To this day, Mike Moran did an episode where he was like things from your childhood that still like creep you out.
Yeah.
And it was like meant for little kids, but it was like the scariest thing ever. But the thing with the Goofy movie is like those songs, like the two Powerline songs, I feel like those could have easily been radio songs.
Oh, yeah.
Because those songs were
like
bangers.
They were super good. I mean, we just listened to them before the podcast. They're great.
They're fresh in my mind, dude.
Those are our hype-up songs.
Up. Yeah, dude. I wasn't even fucking ready for this podcast until Powerline came on. And I got the coffee hit, the Diet Sunkiss hit. You came rolling in hot with the diet. That brought me back to my roots, dude.
Yeah.
Nothing like a somehow colder than room temperature coffee.
Exactly.
I was like,
so the thing is, I usually do the trick where you put some ice at the bottom of the cup. Because coffee at 7-Eleven is usually like scorching hot. Like even if we get regular coffee there and forget to do that, we have to wait like 30 minutes to drink it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. They only had one coffee machine working, and I like didn't even think about it. Like I didn't want to like. I assumed it was gonna be hot coffee.
You would think,
but it was somehow cold coffee or like medium warm coffee that got cold. And then
so you didn't do the ice trick at all?
I did do the ice trick.
Okay, I was about to say, because this was like cold when you had. I was like, did you get an iced coffee from 7-Eleven?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that, but yes, I did. Going in there, getting the coffee, I didn't expect it to be iced coffee, and I wasn't disappointed. Like,
yeah, I'm not disappointed.
I don't mind drinking cold coffee.
I will say I'm not a coffee snob at all, but 7-Eleven coffee might be the worst coffee.
Yeah.
It is not good.
And I mean, if it was like lukewarm when I got it, it'd probably been sitting around a little bit. So that's not, that's not going to help.
This is from like yesterday. And I don't even know. I feel like when I drink 7-Eleven coffee, it makes me more tired. It makes me like it does not get me pumped up. Like I take 7-Eleven coffee to go to bed. Then I get a nice lukewarm
nightcap.
Oh shit! I just ashed in it. Great. Now it's gonna be even worse.
Now it's gonna be even colder. Damn. I mean, you don't have to drink it.
I mean, no, I'm not going to. I literally just ashed a Camel Crusher.
I thought you were going to still, and I was like, just please don't.
I want to just because I need stuff to drink, but I guess I haven't ashed in this Diet Sunkiss yet, so we're good.
Yeah, that's a hard one to do.
Live from the studio, I'm Jimmy Selesky.
Merrick Glazer. It is episode 205, I think.
Yeah.
There we go.
Episode 205, Solo Donut. I fucked around with the settings again with these microphones after last week, and I think I might have found the golden ticket.
So if anyone's zooming, if you zoom in, you can see our fucking settings and leech off of our success.
Yeah, I know Joe Rogan likes to zoom in on our podcast settings and fucking steal our ideas. But
exactly.
We did it. We did it.
But yeah, episode 205.
Yeah. Coming at you.
Not too crazy of a week.
Not too crazy. This is my first week that I actually had like.
I guess like for our lives, there's been crazy stuff in the world, but
yeah, I heard Chicago had to like shut down the bridges to let people in because I heard about this today over the weekend that they like had to shut down the bridges because people were literally driving into like town square with U-Hauls and just like raiding stores and like
Jesus.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I did see something today where like 100 people got arrested in Chicago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but to be honest, like I haven't really been paying too much attention to all that stuff as of late because it's just like mind numbing to keep thinking about it. So I've kind of been ignoring it, and every now and then I'll check back in and be like, holy shit, this is still happening.
Well, I wasn't even thinking about that. I completely forgot about that. I was more so thinking about the fucking the shit that went off in Beirut.
Yeah.
Where it was like, or Beirut, however you say it.
Beirut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In that port city. That shit looked so scary.
Yeah, dude. I saw the Instagram, Lucas Mosca sent me and Dom the Instagram post of it, and it was like a bunch of videos that you would like swipe through, and one of them was like the shockwave from the water. I don't know if you saw that one where the explosion hit, and then you see like the shockwave from the water just go. It looked like it was out of like
Jesus.
It looked like it was out of like Spider-Man or something. I was like, I can't believe this shit. What was that? Was that like a nuclear thing?
I think it was like they had like a bunch of very flammable chemicals all stored up in a like warehouse, and what I read online at least was like whoever had the building or whoever worked with that program who had all those supplies, like they were supposed to like move them out of that warehouse because it was like a hazard and dangerous, and then somehow maybe like an office above them caught fire, and then it just like got everything. That's like the running story. Like, I mean, there was like a giant fire before it happened, so like I'm guessing that's what happened.
I don't understand why those things are allowed to be in such close proximity to major
where people live.
Yeah, like
I mean, it is a port city, so like it could have been a thing where like stuff was getting like brought in, but they didn't want to brought it into the country, so they like kept it in customs or something, or like maybe they're shipping it somewhere. I don't know. Like it's all I saw were like all the videos where like people were randomly filming. It looked like a crazy ass like disaster movie.
Yeah.
Like especially when people like started putting the clips together, and like it was insane. Like it was unreal.
Yeah, like we've had so many like with. I feel like the first like big one was like in the 80s with Chernobyl. You remember that thing where like it was like a nuclear like meltdown, and you still can't walk in that area. Like you still can't go there because it's so radioactive. And it's like, why do we have these things? I'm not a fucking nuclear scientist. I don't fucking know what you're supposed to do, but I would imagine that shit should be out in the fucking desert somewhere where it explodes and it's just, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you know, like Japan had the issue with like Fukushima or whatever during when like the tsunami or hurricane whatever hit them a couple years back. And I mean, obviously that wasn't as bad. There's still like some runoff into the ocean that's still detectable, but like yeah, that fucking Beirut shit was insane. Yeah,
and then I tried to like I saw a bunch of people sharing this post, and it was like, what's going on in Lebanon? I guess Beirut is in Lebanon. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's a city. I'm ignorant. And I was like trying to figure it out, but then it was just like the post itself just was talking about like social stuff and like unrest. And I was like, can you just tell me what the fuck the explosion was and not give me this like super like woke ass backstory to like why a bunch of nuclear waste exploded? Like, what does this have to do with anything? So I never figured it out because I got so fed up. I was like, I'm done reading this post.
Yeah. I don't even know if there's like any conspiracy to it. I think it's just like we're in the middle of a pandemic. Something that was supposed to happen didn't happen because of it. Like getting all that stuff out of there, and then just like a fucking act of God happened where that shit caught on fire.
That like literally, and that's the thing. Like because I in my regular day-to-day life am so incredibly like scatterbrained and shit gets fucked up and stuff like that. But I can't like okay, for instance, with the studio, like the power surge happened, that was a fuck up. But the worst thing that happened was like, oh, we lost some equipment. But like the fact that that same type of thing, that freak thing can happen, it can blow up an entire city. It's like, Jesus Christ, who was in charge of that?
Yeah. Have you seen like the overlays where it's like, this is the impact that it had there. Now let's see what the impact would be over Toronto or like wherever, like New York, DC. It was insane.
Was it like the entire...
It covered like the entirety of Toronto and then over a couple like cities or counties.
So like how many people died in that?
I mean, I think it said like at least 100 people, but like 4,000 people had to go to the hospital. And that was like, I saw those numbers like almost like an hour or so after it happened. So it probably is worse.
Oh my God.
Because like that was before they even started digging through buildings and shit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that definitely was the top headline of the week. I mean, other than that, I had like, this is like my first week of having like a respectable amount of gigs.
Nice.
I was supposed to play, I had Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's like a normal amount of gigs for me. Yeah. But then Friday, I literally, like it rained. My Friday gig was in the city. And the city is very volatile because they're so uptight about like the whole like restrictions and things. So if it like rains, you're not allowed to really have people inside at all. Or I think it's like 20% capacity or something crazy. So like my gig was at 9 and I drove down there, and as I was pulling into the parking lot at 8:40, they were like, oh yeah, we're closing at 10, you can go home. And I was like, dude, you couldn't have fucking told me that when I texted you an hour ago before I left. Like, I saw it was raining. I knew something was going to happen. It's just like, but then you can't be mad at them because it's like, you know, they're pissed that they have to shut down too. Yeah, it's like, oh, another day of not being able to make any money because it fucking rained, you know?
So is it only 20% inside? Like, is it outside? You still have to have like distance tables.
Yeah, outside you have to have,
like pretty much like 80% capacity or something.
Yeah. I don't really know. I don't even know how they judge that. All I know is whenever I go to places, they have like weird things where it's like you're like separated by like 6 feet and you can only have like groups of 6. And I think they do that. But I think recently, within the past 2 weeks, they made a new law. Because for a while, they were kind of getting back to doing indoor seating. And then out of nowhere, they were just like, nope, back to doing none of that shit. And so now I was talking to the guy I was supposed to play with that night, and he was saying that like he was out drinking with a bunch of like the bar owners and stuff like that, and they were naming a bunch of places that aren't going to reopen like permanently. Really? And that like made me really sad to hear that. Like a lot of the places I'm like close with too.
Damn.
And like it just bugged me a lot that that's happening.
Yeah.
It's a bummer, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be the trend until we can actually do shit again.
Yeah, he said
which
a lot
is unfortunate. Like, that's really sad.
Yeah, he said a lot of real estate's gonna be open up in the city though, dude. So we can fucking purchase the big Fells Point studio on the water, dude, for like $3 per square foot. Fucking knock it out.
Damn, dude. What if we actually get Slab House?
That would be the place to do it. I feel like this bachelor party with Dan is going to be the first trial run of Slab House, just to see how it would have gone. If we had managed to be cool 10 years ago and done this when it was appropriate.
Yeah, if any of us like got into Bitcoin.
Yes, dude. Yes. I feel like there's a lot of people that made a lot of money off that, but then I think anybody who joined it, like
anyone who does it now is an idiot.
Yeah. Once a good rule of thumb, I feel like for stocks and shit like that is once you hear about it, it's probably too late.
Yeah.
Like once a loser like me or you, well, you heard about it way beforehand, but you didn't pull the trigger.
Yeah, but I was a loser because I couldn't afford to buy some of it.
Couldn't buy one Bitcoin.
I could, but it was like such a it was a hassle. It was like, all right. It also seemed like a scam too, because it's like, all right, you can't like PayPal someone money because it's supposed to be decentralized, so we don't want to know where any of the money is coming from. Mm-hmm. So Western Union, some random person, like $800.
Yeah.
or like buy 6 graphics cards and just like rack up a power bill that doesn't offset the amount of Bitcoin you're generating on your computer.
Yeah, I never understood that you could like mine for Bitcoins. I never understood how that worked. You like use your server power and it like figures out a code or something.
It's like I don't even know how it worked. 'Cause I think it's like similar to what like those like folding at home thing. Like that's like a thing where when your computer's idling, you can have this program running that'll like run data through it, and it's basically like a decentralized like supercomputer. So like instead of like having to have this giant supercomputer work through medical data, you can have like like 100,000 people have their home computers do little chunks of it and then send the data back. But I don't know how that works. Like I don't know if with Bitcoin, like what were they doing with the mining stuff, because it was like super processor and like graphic dependent. So like I don't know if it was like there's this set amount of Bitcoin, because I think that's the one thing too, like there's only a set amount of it, so you can't inflate it and it can't deflate. And then I guess maybe mining for it would be like getting unclaimed Bitcoin from somewhere. But I don't know why it would take so much processing power.
I've also never had a situation where I've needed to use Bitcoin, or like when do you use it?
It's not like feasible to use yet, really. It's like I think outside of like a couple like weird like novelty things, like I'm sure, like I feel like there's probably like some weird supercar dealership that like, yeah, you can get like a Ferrari for like 4 Bitcoins or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably way more, but
well, maybe not, because I feel like a Ferrari, I feel like a Bitcoin is like $10,000 right now or something like that, right?
Yeah, but a Ferrari is probably like 200 grand or something. I don't even know.
20 Bitcoins.
Something like that.
I just don't like. I remember looking into it and hearing like all my friends were talking. It was like that, and the other big one was what, Ethereum.
Yeah, but that was another thing where like people heard about it too late, and when people heard about it, it was like anywhere. It was probably like $600 or $800 or I don't. It might have not even gotten that high. I'm not really sure about Ethereum, to be honest. But I just remember when I heard about it, it was definitely too late, and then like 6 months later, it crashed.
Oh, Ethereum crashed?
Yeah. I think it like went back up, but it's not going to take off like Bitcoin was like a rare once in a lifetime thing. Like from going from literally like when I saw it, it was like 16 to $20 you could get one. And now I think it hit a height of like high teens, thousands, maybe even it hit $20,000 at one point for like a Bitcoin. Like, and that is such a once in a lifetime thing, like a jackpot. But like,
yeah, but those things,
I can't see how that's gonna
like, those things happen,
at least
like,
in that lane.
Yeah,
I don't see any other cryptocurrency doing those kind of numbers.
Yeah, not with cryptocurrency, but it is crazy because like if you think about the people who like invested in Apple or Microsoft,
or like Amazon or anything.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
That shit, I feel like I wish I was more like on the ball when it came to that, because that like that's something like I've been working out with Zach at the gym a lot, and he like just like casually just like trades stuff on his phone and app, and that's something I've never gotten into. Yeah. But he's just like, yeah, I just made $150 just doing something. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you can just do that?
Yeah. I mean for my like Roth or whatever, that's how I have it set up. So like I just have all my stuff in different like I have like ETFs or whatever. They're like a group of like tech stocks. So like the one that I picked is like Apple, Tesla, and a couple other things. And like it literally just goes up. It doesn't, like I think when the pandemic happened, it like dipped $20 a share or something. Yeah. But then now it's like doing better than it was before the pandemic.
Yeah. And that's like, it's like if you had a bunch of money in the bank before the Great Depression and you just didn't pull out, because that's really, you only lose the money when you pull out.
Yeah.
So if you just hold on to it, like I haven't even looked at my IRA in like 3 years. I only put $1,000 in it.
Yeah.
And I did some weird math equation. It was like, yeah, it'll be 60,000 when you're 80. I was like, no way. I'm just gonna leave it in there then. I'm not even gonna put
$60,000. That'll last me till I'm 81 or 2.
Exactly, dude.
Gonna retire for a year, have a nice, and then just go out with a bang.
I feel like I will have forgotten that I had an IRA. There's no way. Like my brother can't even find the renter insurance policy that we signed last year. There's no way in 2090 I'm gonna be able to locate my IRA app on my phone.
I mean, that's like the same. Like I had like
if there's phones in 2090.
I had a SunTrust bank account as a kid, and I remember like I set it up to like put in like birthday checks or something, whatever, for my grandma. And I remember at like some point when I was a kid, I had like probably like $100 in there or something, and I thought that was like a lot of money. But like I don't ever remember taking it out, and I don't know like how I could even get it now, like because like there's at least interest has been accrued on it, so it's probably at least like $150 now.
Yeah, $149, dude.
Yeah. But like I don't know how I'll ever get that money.
Well, that's what happens. Like if you're just a person who dies and then like you didn't really
I'm not even dead yet. Like they're not trying to figure out how to get it to me. They're not like,
of course not.
Yeah.
Because the amount of money that I feel like people just have in bank accounts, like what happens to a bank account if you forget to write a will? Like I'll probably forget to write a will. I can't imagine when I'm gonna be like, all right, now's the day I'm gonna write a will. Like my dad's really good friend works for an insurance company, and last year I was talking about on the podcast how he
was like hitting you up.
Yeah, he was trying to get me a life insurance policy. He was like, I'll pay for the first year. I just need to like reach my quota, which is hilarious. So basically I had 1 year of a life insurance policy, and they kept hitting me up like this past month and were like, hey, do you want to renew it? Because it's going to lapse on this day. And I was just like, dude, why would I have a life insurance policy right now? Like who would benefit? I would honestly prefer if I died right now.
I'm giving Dom my 2 broken cameras, and
I'm giving my mother my credit card debt. Like, what am I gonna fucking give to anyone right now? I have like nothing to give. But then I was thinking like, oh, maybe I can get like lower rates right now. But also, I feel like when you get like a real life insurance thing, that's when they do like health tests and shit. They're like, are you a drinker? Are you a smoker? I'm like, yes. Like, do you have health insurance? No. Like, why would anybody give me a fucking policy?
Yeah, it's gonna be so expensive.
Like, I'm not fucking giving you life insurance, dude.
You're gonna have to open up a new credit card to pay for the life insurance. And then you're not gonna die till you're like 103.
It's not gonna be fucking worth it, dude.
Yeah, dude, that $60,000 is just getting eaten up quicker and quicker.
That would be a good fun, because I feel like that would be the equivalent. Because like a lot of times I only have 2 pairs of pants. Well, actually 1 now. But when I had 2 pairs of pants, I would go like a month without wearing the other one because I just wear 1 pair of pants until I literally can't possibly wear them anymore without washing them.
Yeah.
And then I go get my other pair of pants and I find like $60 in it. I'm like, oh shit. I would have never known that I had this.
The pants fairy.
or like after like my favorite thing is when it finally starts to get warm and I stop wearing my Pico because I only have like 1 jacket too. Yeah. And then next winter rolls around, I find like a 20 and a lighter. Yeah. And I'm like, I remember when I was using this lighter last winter. It's all coming back to me now. I find like a lighter and a cough drop. And like a spoon.
Little time capsules.
Why do I have a metal spoon? What the hell was I doing last February?
Just a plastic straw. A relic of an old era.
Yeah, dude. When you go out, they stop caring about plastic straws now, dude.
Instantly, people were like, no, you're reusing your straws? That's disgusting. There's a pandemic happening.
Yeah, we just went a complete 180. It's like, dude, we probably
if anything, we're being like so environmentally friendly right now. Like with the amount of like masks and gloves that are getting thrown out right now.
Environmentally unfriendly.
Yeah.
Dude, because I had to send all my stuff to different places. I had to go to Staples and get a bubble wrap.
Yeah.
And packing peanuts. Mm-hmm. But they only had 1 size for packing peanuts, and it was like a gigantic,
like a big like kettle corn bag.
It was humongous, dude. I went up to the counter, I was like, is this the only size for packing peanuts that you guys have? And I've never bought packing peanuts before in my life, but I've heard that they are the most worst thing for the environment of all time.
Yeah.
So I was like, now I just have this giant bag of packing peanuts. And so I was like unpacking for a gig, and I already opened it. Of course, I'm not going to tie it back up again. So I'm
Yeah,
lazy.
it's gonna go everywhere.
Yeah. So I fucking bring out my speaker, and packing peanuts just fly outside in the street everywhere. Like, damn, dude, I didn't want this. I only needed to pack one fucking thing. I needed 3 peanuts. 3 fucking peanuts. I got an entire bag of packing peanuts.
I wish you could just do the thing like at the grocery store where like you like open a big bag of cherries or grapes and put some in a little bag.
Yes.
What if you just like did that at Staples? Like, what are you doing?
Like a gumball machine
Yeah.
where you put a quarter in, you get like 4. You're like, all right, this
They
is good
weigh
enough.
the packing peanuts. It's like 1/10 of a pound. All right, it's gonna be $6. It's outrageous.
Yeah, dude, I've been doing a lot of minor stealing every now and then. Like I do like not stealing. Like when I go grocery shopping, I drop like liberating. Like I take what's mine from the store. Like I feel like if I go to Safeway once every 3 weeks and I get $150 worth of groceries, like I'm snagging myself a free cheese stick out of the thing.
Oh yeah, of course.
Just to walk like a complimentary cheese stick. I feel like that's fair.
Yeah.
I feel like that's perfectly fair.
Yeah, if you're spending over $100, just do
get a
whatever you
cheese
want in
stick.
that place.
And like the other day, we had band rehearsal on Saturday, and I was like, "You guys need anything from CVS?" And John was like, "A big ass Gatorade." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And then as I was in the store, he was like, "Also Band-Aids. I just cut my finger, LOL." And I was like, "Dude, I am not buying a full pack of Band-Aids right now.
Yeah,
This
of
is
course.
unheard of. I haven't used a Band-Aid in like 7 years. If I have a cut, I have a cut.
Yeah.
It's just how it goes." And so I walk up to the thing, and lo and behold, there was this bag of a bag of Band-Aids on the thing. There was
a candy dispenser of Band-Aids.
and there was this box that was already open. Somebody else had the same idea. So I looked at the box and I was like, all right, this box is already open.
Yeah. They're just going to throw it away.
They're going to throw it away. So I just walked and got one Band-Aid out of it and brought it to John. I was like, great. And then I got one for myself too.
Yeah.
I was like, just in case. I'm going to have one Band-Aid just in case.
Hell yeah.
But it is true. You do heal a lot faster. Like I've heard tell.
With a Band-Aid?
Yeah, they say that your cuts heal 3 times faster with a Band-Aid.
Interesting.
They also say that your toenails grow 3 times slower than your fingernails, which I also believe.
I believe that.
Because I probably do only clip my toenails once every 3 times I clip my fingernails. But also mainly...
I let my toenails go sometimes.
Yeah, well, you're not a big flip-flop guy.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. I love flip-flops, but it all comes down to being lazy. Like, I hate tying my shoes. I don't like it. And so I enjoy putting... And also, I'm always running late for stuff. So, like, I don't have time to, like, throw on socks. I never really got good at putting on socks. Like, I feel like you're supposed to, like, bunch them up and then slide them and then, like, like, retract them over your thing.
What?
I don't know. It's been so long since I've worn socks. I forgot how I do it.
You hold it by the top. It's like pants, dude. They're tiny pants for your feet. You just hold the top like you would hold the waist of pants.
Yeah.
And then you just guide your foot in and slide it up.
Okay, that's what I do.
Okay. You don't bunch it up. You don't roll them back like a condom. And then use your mouth to apply it to your foot.
You pinch the tip so it catches your toenails.
Give your toes some breathing room.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess I have been doing it right, dude. But it turns out...
But it's been so long.
There's just so many things that, like, I don't remember ever being taught how to do them. Like, I don't remember anyone formally teaching me how to take a shower. Like, I remember being a very small baby and my mom would wash me in the bath. But then, like, I don't remember when it was, like, the first time my mom was like, okay, you're taking a shower and I'm not going in there with you.
Yeah.
And you're going to just have to figure it out. You're going to stand up now because that's what you do at a certain age. You stop taking baths.
Yeah.
And I don't remember anybody ever teaching me. So I feel like it was like, wasn't until I was like 16 when I really learned. And I also think that's why everybody has their own way to take a shower. Like you told me that you're not a big, like, you don't wash your feet in the shower.
No, because I'm afraid I'm going to slip.
That's true too. And also, you don't want one of those fucking those bath mat
Yeah,
things?
those are gross.
Those are gross, dude.
Yeah,
they get all
so gross.
slimy and stuff.
And I feel like those get slippier than the regular tile.
Yeah.
But I had the same thing when like I think when I was like 19 or 20, we like switched dentists, and they found like a fuck ton of like cavities and shit in my mouth, and I was like, I just had to get like fucking fillings for like a month straight, because I like had to just like get one this week, one the other week, and they'd like work on this side of my mouth one week, then go this side the other week, and like every time I sat down in the dentist chair and just like getting Novocained up and fucking getting all those, it sucked. But the entire time I was thinking like, I don't think anyone ever taught me how to brush my teeth.
You can't.
Like, is this my fault? Like, have I been doing it wrong? Is this why I'm being punished?
There's like, okay, so like, I feel like if you watch cartoons, you always see the person go like this, like with the fucking thing, and then you go like up and down.
Yeah.
But I always do like, okay, so when I brush my teeth, I go like side to side across the whole spectrum, and then I go vertical and I brush the tops of my teeth. Did you brush the tops of your teeth?
Yeah.
You did? Before you had cavities?
The top up by the gums.
No,
and shit?
like you take the brush and like face it.
Yeah.
And then I do the back. Do you do the back?
I didn't do the back for a while. I do the back now.
You got to get the back of your teeth, dude.
Well, I do like up front, but I never like went all the way to the back. Now I go all the way to the back.
Okay. Yeah, I do the back. I do full fledged, and then I go top, back, and then I come back and do the up and down thing, just because I feel like that's something you're supposed to do. And then I brush my tongue.
I do kind of like circular. And especially because I have like an electric toothbrush, I just kind of like focus on one spot circular, then go slowly across the whole thing. But that's now. Back in the day, I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I definitely always end on the tongue now.
Yeah.
Just to, give good measure.
I don't trust electric toothbrushes, dude. I had one when I was younger, and it just never felt like I was getting the amount of like torque that I needed.
Yeah, no.
You know?
There's definitely a feeling when you have just like a bristly toothbrush, like a standard toothbrush, like stock.
Yeah.
And if it's like fresh and it's like still very stiff bristles, it feels like it's a good cleaning.
Yeah, like if my gums aren't bleeding, my teeth aren't clean, dude.
That's how I feel sometimes when I floss. I'm like, am I actually cleaning it? Like it didn't bleed. I feel like I should be tasting blood right now.
That's like pretty much like we talked about how like when we wipe our ass, when you're bleeding, you're done.
That's when
That's
clean.
how I go with everything. Like until I'm bleeding, I'm not clean.
Yeah.
I have to get rid of that pesky layer of skin that's so dirty on my teeth and ass.
Exactly. Yeah, I got super into flossing during quarantine.
Yeah,
that was like my one thing it was just like a thing that I could do every day. That like, this is like, I'm being healthy at this point. I wasn't eating many fruits or vegetables.
Yeah,
I was like, this is the best I can do.
I'm gonna floss. I'm just gonna floss. My friend was telling me about Crest whitening strips.
Yeah.
And I think I might do it.
Nice.
Because it's one of those things, like, I never really paid attention. And he described it to me. He was like, you know how, like, when you're it's the same thing with, like, when you lose weight. Like, when you lose weight, when you're working out and you're dieting and stuff, and all of a sudden people are still like, oh, you look great. But nobody's going to tell you when you don't look great.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. He was like, it's the same thing. Like, you'll get a lot of compliments, people being like, oh, your teeth are so white.
Ooh.
But it's like nobody's ever told me my teeth are so white ever in life. And so that means they're not white.
Yeah.
And also I was looking in the mirror the other day and I was like, because I didn't have like teeth yellowing habits when I was younger. Like I didn't smoke at all. I didn't drink coffee until like 3 years ago. Wasn't a big coffee guy.
I think I have like a little bit of yellowing now, or like browning. I don't know. I definitely think it's from coffee though. I have so much coffee now and I never had it, and it like I instantly started noticing like it was like kind of a drastic thing where like I was like, damn, like really? Like,
really?
what the fuck?
Dude, I'm gonna get them. You want to do them?
Yeah.
Yes.
Bachelor
I'm really
party,
excited.
Teeth whitening weekend.
Yeah, dude. You bring the fucking acid, and I'll bring the Crest whitening strips.
Do them at the same time.
Yeah.
And just freak out.
My teeth are so white. Yeah, dude. It's definitely like, it's one of those things like, I don't want it to get away from me, because you can easily let shit get away from you. Like, I don't want to get to like 35. The last thing you want is to be the guy with yellow teeth.
Yeah.
And so I feel like the sooner you jump on it, the sooner you can knock that out. And it's so easy.
Yeah.
Apparently, I don't know.
I just don't know what it does to your teeth. So like that's the thing where I'm like, is it like softening your teeth and then like sucking the whatever out?
The yellow out?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think so. Dan said he does it, and he was like, the only problem is your teeth are super sensitive, like for the next 2 days after you do it. And I was like, that can't be good.
Yeah, that can't be good.
Like, I can't drink a cold drink.
Maybe I'll try some like homeopathic version. I know you can do like baking soda and shit.
I'm pretty sure that's all it is, dude.
Yeah.
Like all those topical ointments, like I remember I had like acne cream in high school, which I'm so glad acne isn't a permanent thing, because I remember having like a decent amount of it when I was in my adolescence, and just I would use the acne cream or like the face scrub or wash, but then it would get worse because then my face became like dependent on it.
Yeah. Well, then also like a lot of those like skin, like I remember like face cream or whatever I'd use in like high school. It was like the super like, it had like the beads in it and like the sand in it. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that fucked up my face worse than the acne did.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of myths about acne that I don't think should be heated. Like, they say you're not supposed to pop pimples. I don't believe that, dude.
Yeah.
I used to pop the shit out of my pimples because I would rather have a cut on my face than a whitehead.
Yeah.
Because at least a cut, you can just say it's a cut.
Yeah.
Cut my face.
To be cool.
To be cool. To be handsome. But you don't want to, like, but then I just started using straight rubbing alcohol. Mm-hmm. You know, I would just fucking put that on, and it worked better.
Yeah.
And the acne creams. And so that's what I'm wondering, like, these Crest whitening strips, like, if I just gargled hydrogen peroxide and baking soda, I feel like that would be better.
Yeah. Potentially. I saw something about coconut oil. I don't know how that would work.
For your teeth or for your face?
Oh, no. Know what it is? It's like coconut oil toothpaste with charcoal in it.
Charcoal.
Yeah.
Now that, charcoal's weird.
But I feel like the only reason it looks whiter is because like you have the black toothpaste in your mouth.
Yeah.
So then just by comparison, it's like, oh, my teeth are so white.
I bet you charcoal works. Because
Probably.
it's one of the original filtration things, and I don't know how they figured that out, because I would never think like, oh, let me run
my teeth through charcoal.
Yeah, through charcoal. That'll straighten them out. But I feel like, yeah, because people filter water that way too.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would be willing to try it. I'd be willing to try charcoal, baking soda, and peroxide. Not sure about coconut oil though, dude. I'd try that for my face, I guess. I feel like that would work.
Maybe.
Cocoa butter though? Now that's something I want to try.
That's something I'm looking into.
I'm looking into cocoa butter right now.
Got a lot of opportunities with cocoa butter in the future.
I'm bringing my talents to cocoa butter. I fucking just put on a hat. I've been sitting at my computer for days on end with my mouse hovering over add to cart on a big jug of cocoa butter. I definitely want to try it, dude. I have my mom got me shampoo and conditioner combo.
Okay.
It's Old Spice.
That's very bachelor pad.
Very bachelor
approved.
pad, but not really though, because you can't jerk off with it in the shower.
Yeah.
As I learned today. And moms don't get that. My mom buys me. I'm like, Mom,
come on.
I can't jerk off with this, Mom.
Oh my god.
I can't explain that to her.
Yeah, I don't have that's the other thing though too. I don't really beat off in the shower.
I feel like it's one of the best places to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the hover over the toilet. Kind of.
Yeah, I'll do that sometimes.
The reverse bobbing for apples. It's kind of the Johnny Appleseed of.
Johnny Appleseed, dude. Now that is a classic character, dude. What did he do, really, though?
He
wore
just,
a pot on his
walked
head.
across America and planted and dropped seeds or something.
But what did that have to do with the pot on his head?
I don't fucking know.
I feel like he was just
he
retarded.
retarded.
I feel like he
or-
was either retarded or he was like, I think he was one of the original hipsters.
I just also don't get it too because like we don't need the myth of Johnny Appleseed because like birds already do that. Birds will just eat like fruits and berries and then shit seeds all over the place.
Yeah, and way more effectively.
Yeah.
Than a guy with a fucking wok on his head. That guy had the easiest ticket to folklore ever. Like, he didn't do anything, dude. And I feel like all American folklore guys had weird headwear. Like Davy Crockett wore the coon skin hat.
You got to finish that whole thing.
You really got to enunciate there.
You got to have the skin hat part.
But he did wear it. And he
Man.
became famous, dude.
John Henry had the fucking suspenders.
Yeah. I don't even know what John Henry did.
He was the guy that beat the machine, right? Or is that someone else?
John Henry was like a rail worker, right? And
Yeah,
he
he
had
was
like,
the man that beat the machine.
but I think,
But then he dies at the end.
was that a myth? Was that real?
I don't think it was real.
Because I think that was,
It could have been real, but I don't know.
I think that was anti-industrial propaganda. I think that came out at a time when people were saying, no way a machine can do more work than a man, because they were worried about people losing their jobs. And so they made this myth of this amazing worker, John Henry, that like rail workers were like, yo, that's our boy. Like, he's
Yeah.
holding it down for machines.
I could see that. What do you think, Paul Bunyan?
I was just going to bring up Paul Bunyan, actually.
Yeah.
You're
'Cause
reading my mind,
He
bro.
had the hat, and he had all of the lumberjack gear.
Yes. And I think that was anti...
Also, I think he was like 5 stories tall or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I never got a good read on that. I think
I just saw him far away, so he looked normal.
I think that might have been another situation where they were worried about machines taking
I
over
think
from...
that was Canada trying to get in the good graces of their brother down below.
Yep, that's what I think it was. And he had a big blue ox.
Yes.
And
How could we forget?
how could we
He
forget?
had something about... Didn't he like make pancakes?
Yeah, he
made
did.
big pancakes.
He would tie butter to his feet. He had butter skates, and he would
Yeah.
skate across a big, gigantic griddle.
Yeah.
And then cook pancakes.
But also like... So he was already gigantic.
Yes.
But then he had an even bigger, as if he was a mouse in a house using a regular sized cast iron pan.
Yeah, exactly.
He had a giant, probably as big as Towson sized cast iron pan.
that he would just
He would
skate around on with
on.
butter and make himself pancakes that were bigger than him. They didn't make it to size. It was
He
like,
didn't
dude, if you're a big ass man, just make him have a bigger pan, not a pan that's bigger than him. That doesn't make sense because now,
Just have a pan that suits his size.
Yes.
That he can butter normally. Or if he still wants to skate, just do, those little twirls.
yeah. You can just take on a butter skate, dude. Yeah, there's a lot of shaky.
There's a lot of shaky stuff in the Paul Bunyan myth.
That Paul Bunyan story doesn't quite add up.
Did he skate on it, or did like regular people skate on it?
Maybe regular people.
Maybe regular people skated on it. I forget.
Because I've never skated on my own pancake pan, but I have had the thought, if only I knew smaller people so that they could skate on my pan. 'Cause that would save me a lot of vital buttering time. Yeah, dude, that's a loss. That's a lost one, dude.
That's a lost cause.
Yeah, I don't even think that he was American. I think that he was Canadian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't really, as the listeners can tell, we don't know much about Paul Bunyan.
But I think we got the bullet points
We
of Paul
got
Bunyan.
some of it.
What I want to know is why this was taught. Like, what was the
right?
What,
I think it was supposed to. I think because I think I remember learning about it like around the same time we learned about like other cultures like myths and heroes, but it always like felt like such a separate thing because everyone else had like gods and fucking like people from the underworld and like super cool like villains and heroes and then they tell you about American folklore. It's like, yeah, this very slow kid walked across America, almost like Forrest Gump, just shitting out seeds everywhere.
Yeah, but I mean, no, I mean, look, America has our cool. We have Bigfoot.
But that's not like a. I mean, that would be like that's like a cryptid, and Bigfoot is cool. But like, if we're talking about that kind of shit, like Romans and Greeks had like fucking chimeras and shit, and like
I got one for you.
Dragons.
Yeah, not a lot of dragons. We had the
Not a lot of dragons.
I was gonna say we had the Loch Ness monster. That's
Yeah,
not
we had
us.
that. We had the Loch Raven monster.
The Loch Raven monster. That is a great fine piece. We had the cliffs, which are a myth. That's a great Loch Raven myth.
Exactly.
I got one for you. Slender Man.
Slender Man. Okay, that's kind of cool, but yeah.
Bloody
I don't know.
Mary.
Bloody Mary's cool. Candyman, I guess, but I don't know if that was a real thing before the movie.
Yeah, I think that came. I don't know. I never seen Candyman. I also don't know what is that the one where you say it 3 times in the mirror?
Yeah, it's kind of like Bloody Mary.
Have you ever done that?
Probably as a kid, but I don't really remember.
Yeah.
I remember doing like light as a feather, stiff as a board type shit.
That one
and
is
like
really
a
cool.
Ouija board or whatever.
Ouija board, pretty cool. I've done it once. And it
I could
worked.
definitely tell someone was doing the pushing though.
Yeah, and I think when I did it, I remember somebody else being like, "Who's pushing it?" And I was like, "I didn't feel anybody pushing it," and I think that means it must have been me because I wanted to believe in the occult, dude. Because I feel like life was more fun that way. I feel like Ouija.
I agree to a certain amount of like, I love Ghost Adventures, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I think there might be something to ghosts, or at least like, some sort of like energy that's like burned into a place.
Yes, I do believe that. I think that there's a
But
certain.
I don't know about like just at your house where you've never experienced any sort of thing ever, and then just whipping out a Ouija board and having someone call you gay through it. Like,
My grandmother called me gay. Just like old times.
it's her.
It's really her.
It's really her.
Mima! That's fucking ridiculous, dude. I hate people's names for their grandparents, even though Yaya and Papu is very weird, I guess.
That's just the
That's
word
great.
for
Yeah,
it.
that's the word for it. I don't have like
Yeah.
stupid like peepaw.
Yeah,
It's like-
some of those ones are dumb.
Yeah, Poppy. Papa. I never call my mom No, I wouldn't call my mom Papa ever, actually. It wouldn't make any
Yeah.
sense. But like I guess people in other countries do, like Papa. I couldn't imagine calling my dad Papa. That's like a step beyond calling him Daddy.
Exactly.
I remember when I stopped calling my dad Daddy. And he was mad. He was like, "Oh, you're all grown up now."
You're not my little man anymore, are you? Huh?
He was like, "Oh, you're just gonna not call me daddy anymore?" I'm like, "I'm not calling you daddy. I'm 23 years old."
I'm calling you Papa now.
Papa. Poppy.
Poppy.
Yeah, it was a big shift for me because I remember one day I was just yelling up the stairs and I prepared for it. I was down at the bottom of the stairs in the basement. My mom was upstairs and I was like, "Mom," and she ignored it.
Yeah.
She was like, "That could not have been my son. Couldn't be my son." And then I was like, "Mom," and she was like, "What?" And I was like, I didn't have anything to say. I was just practicing.
Mom, can you wipe my ass?
Mommy.
I remember that vividly. Well, because we used to call our grandma on my mom's side Monarch, which like sounds kind of white trash.
Monarch, it does.
It does sound like at this age, I can now see it's kind of white trash, but it was born out of like one of my older cousins when he was a baby they're trying to have him say, "This is your grandmother, your grandmother," and all he could say was "Munner," and then it just stuck. And then everyone called her Munner from then on. But I remember when we were hanging out at my grandma's house. It was like me, my brother, two of our cousins, and one of our other cousins was there, and he was like the youngest. And I just remember like being in our grandma's room watching TV or something, and then like hearing from down the hall, just, "Mona, can you wipe my butt?"
Now that is white trash. There's so many things that are like born out of that. Like when it's always like you meet like a girl and she has like a weird nickname, and it's always like, yeah, my younger sister couldn't pronounce my name, so they just call me like this weird name now. I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, it's cool, I guess, but yeah, Munner, yeah, that's on the fence.
It's on the fence. I don't think I think if it was born out of white trash, it would have been white trash, but luckily it was a cute kid thing.
Yeah.
That now I can look back and be like, all right, if I just said that with a more southern accent, that would be really white trash.
Munner, you wipe my
Munner.
butt.
Munner, you need anything from the store? I'm going to Bass Pro. You need anything, Munner?
Oh, yeah, dude. Lots of myths, dude. Lots of myths. I think that when you walk into a room, I think there is a certain thing, and the Asian word, I don't know which Asian country it is.
Wait, what?
Feng shui.
Feng shui, yes.
Feng shui is a very real thing.
Oh, of course.
1,000%. You walk into a room, and there has to be a certain balance to it. But also, you walk into a room, and there's a large essence of the person. Like, I truly think that when people walk into this studio, they have an immediate better understanding of us as people.
Yeah.
And I think that those things like transcend. So like if like we died and somebody walked into this room, I feel like they would like feel our presence.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I feel like that's what I imagine a ghost is. Because I don't necessarily know if there's just like a real ghost, you know?
Yeah, like if there's because like ghosts also tie in heavily with like religion and stuff. So like it's like a thing of, do you believe in like heaven or hell or purgatory, or like do you believe people after they die have unfinished business and stick around, or is like energy just recycled, or like so it's weird because like I do in a sense, like I don't know if I believe in like the traditional sense of an afterlife or whatever, but I do believe in like energy being like strong enough to like, it's like if like, your phone's on 1%, there's no like time limit on what that means. It's like it could either be 30 seconds or it could be like 20 minutes, you know what I mean?
Whoa.
So it's like when you go out, how long are you gonna stay turned on,
Damn, I never thought about that. That's actually like, is that what purgatory is? Because you were raised Catholic, right?
Yeah. Purgatory is like, I don't ever think I don't know if it's ever taught as like stuck on earth, but a lot of like media kind of has that kind of idea. Like, cause I know in some places like purgatory is like just like a vast white empty space or whatever, and like nothing's there, and you just kind of have to think about what you did in your life, and then if like you can figure it out, maybe you can go to heaven, but if you can't, you might be stuck there. If like you do bad shit, you could go to hell potentially. But I don't know, I remember in like Lost, like that was the thing where like at the end it sucked because it ended up they're all in purgatory after the plane crash, and like it's kind of like testing their spirit or soul or whatever.
See, I remember that being a big thing because I never watched Lost, but I remember everyone saying the last season was really weird.
Yeah, it just got to like they definitely didn't know what they were gonna do with that show.
Yeah.
Like they did too much.
Well, that's like I hate in general because there's so many movies where they just take this turn, and it's like a Hail Mary type of turn. Because like you really like I've watched so many movies where like you're following it, it seems normal, you're digging it, and then all of a sudden we're gonna say that was in.
That was in.
Yeah, that was in. There's so many movies you watch where it makes sense and it's all adding up, and I might even be enjoying it, and then all of a sudden, like in the last 20 minutes, it takes this crazy turn that it's like, dude, come on. It's like you almost ruined the whole movie for it because you have to do it right.
Yeah.
Like, I think the best way to sum it up, or the best way to I think about it, is that I'm down for a movie about ghosts and occult and stuff like that. I'm down for that as long as you present it to me that that's what it's going to be about. Mm-hmm. Like if you from the jump are like, this movie's about vampires, and I'm just like, okay, cool. I'm down to suspend my disbelief about the fact that I don't necessarily believe in vampires, but I'm down to follow this storyline because now I get it and now I'm understanding it.
Yeah.
Oh shit, we got some studio guests over here.
Oh yeah.
No, they're not coming in.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who those people are.
Nice.
But it's like if you have a movie where the entire time it's a normal thing, and at the very end they take this weird dive, and it's like, dude, I was ready because I almost feel like you're cheaping me out because if Lost, it was obvious to me, or I feel like the big thing people say is like they didn't know how to end it.
Yeah.
And so instead they just went with this kind of like cop-out type of thing where they were like, oh, let's just make it this like weird mystical thing. That way we can end the show. And it's like, well, now you kind of ruin it because to tie it all together, if you could have tied it all together within the confines of the story that we were watching, that would have been the more artistic thing to do.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? I do want to believe in vampires, though, and I think that's why I enjoy vampire movies. Like, I want to believe there's certain things, like, I want to believe in ghosts, kind of, but not really.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's fun to, like, believe in, like, the mystical and, like, the fantastic.
But it's like...
And also, like, if it's not too much of a stretch, if it's, like, still somewhat in the realm of possibility, that's kind of, like, the cool... Those are, like, some of my favorite horror thriller movies, you know?
Yes, yeah. Where it, like, just... ekes on that edge because that's what makes it cool. Like the movie I watched recently, The Witch, was super cool like that because it was primarily like a psycho thriller kind of, but there was this like supernatural element to it. I can dig that. I do, like I say I don't believe in ghosts, but also I'm scared of ghosts.
Oh yeah.
Like when I turn off a light in a basement, I am scared of ghosts. When I walk
or like if I watch like a horror movie late at night or like a Paranormal Activity or some shit, I'm gonna be hearing like creaks and cracks all night and think there's someone there with me.
Yeah, yeah. I like the things. Okay, so like, I don't need to believe in werewolves. Like of all the creepy creatures, I would say werewolves I can do without them. I don't need them.
Yeah,
I don't need them. Like it's cool, and I can fuck with a good werewolf movie. But those are hard to do because it always at some point you're gonna have to reveal the wolf. Yeah. And then if the wolf doesn't look dope, it ruins it, dude. That's the hardest thing. That's a thing about horror movies. If you're gonna do like a monster movie, you gotta nail the monster.
Yeah, or just don't show it. Like that was what was so cool about Blair Witch, like the first Blair Witch, where it was just like you just don't know what's going on.
Yeah, but sometimes also, it has to be done right because Bird Box, I fucking hated that movie. And their whole thing was like, they didn't show the monster. It was just like every time they'd look at it, they died or something. I don't fucking know what happened. They would go insane. But I was like, dude, this movie is really just about a bunch of people in a fucking house that can't look at something. This is not that cool.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
Like, what are we afraid to look at here, dude? What are we looking at?
Wasn't that like something with noise too?
Oh, you know what it was? No, I think there was a movie that was exactly like Bird Box, except
it was about noise.
You can't hear. I think it was like speak no evil or hear no or something like that.
Oh, that was the one with Jim from The Office.
Okay, yeah,
John
I didn't see that one.
Krasinski or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. But those type of movies, it's like, dude, come on. Zombie movies. I fuck with zombie movies, but I fuck with zombie movies that are sometimes like 28 days later, like the fucking like the ones where they just get like this weird virus that makes them go crazy.
Yeah.
I can get down with that because it's
Those
like
are
that
good.
could happen.
Yeah, like Shaun of the Dead. Or
That's yeah, dude. Shaun of the Dead was a great movie.
It was a good
But that's
movie.
like what rabies is.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine what people must have thought was going the fuck on when somebody got rabies before we understood what rabies was?
Yeah, yeah.
Just seeing this animal.
Well, that's like a combination of where like vampires, werewolves, and zombies come from. Like, because it's transmitted through the bite. It's like you turn into an animal. Like you start like wanting blood. Like the sun, you can't go out in the sun because it's like it fucks up your eyes or whatever. I don't even know.
And it makes you hydrophobic, meaning that you can't swallow water. Like you literally can't. So like that's why they froth at the mouth because they can't swallow. I saw this video of these Indian people. It was like in India somewhere, and they were trying to give this kid who had rabies a glass of water, and he literally couldn't drink it. It's like that's so weird that a disease can do that to you.
Yeah.
Like you just cannot physically drink water.
That's
the
fucked
fact
up.
that virus knows. I don't even. Is it a virus? I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's probably a virus.
All I know is we're vaccinated against it, dude. And if I had to pick 2 vaccinations, I'd go rabies, syphilis probably. Syphilis. I don't need a tetanus shot, really.
That's like a scary one though too, because like I feel like it's essentially like getting turned into stone. Like if it like is actually as bad as people say it is.
That's tetanus?
I think so.
Oh, Jesus.
I think it's like you basically just like rust up.
Oh, yeah,
From the
maybe
inside.
I'll take that one. I'll take
Yeah.
that one. What do we have? We have rabies.
But also, I don't even know if that's the thing. Maybe that's just like what I thought it was as a kid when I got it. Like I don't even know.
You'll turn to stone. I think maybe a lot
You don't
of...
like actually turn to stone, but like you just like get locked up.
Well, it's making me think like a lot of those myths that we have, like Midas, where people would turn to stone and stuff like that. Like we were talking about how like maybe John Henry was an anti-industrial revolution
He was
propaganda.
actually a robot.
Yes.
What if he was the machine?
Yes, and that's how they tried to spin it in because they were like, okay, we tricked you because we were trying to make you think that there was this dude that could do better work than a machine, and now you like this dude. Plot twist, he is a machine. So now you're for the Industrial Revolution, dude. I really think that's what Paul Bunyan was too. I think that was like people trying to make these big folklores of like these guys that are just really good at their job, and it like empowered those like labor forces.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then we were taught about it in school, and then they just threw in the other stuff like pancakes and stuff just to make it fun.
I guess.
Just to
I
make it
don't know.
fun, dude. Like flapjacks, you know? Calling pancakes flapjacks is fun.
It's fun.
I enjoy doing that.
But pancakes is a cool name too, though.
Pancakes sounds like it would be good, but I'm expecting it to be more of a cake, you know? Whereas
It's kind of cakey if you put some syrup on it and maybe a little powdered sugar.
it's cake-ish, but a flapjack, I feel like just encapsulates exactly what it is. Like when I think of a pancake, I just like flaps on there. You put, I don't know where the jack comes into play, but it's just like flapjack. It sounds like the thing,
Yeah.
but I don't call it that. You know, I think that's a regional thing. I think we call, because like, okay, so I was looking at this map of stuff, and it was like based off what people call shit based off where they are at in the country, and so we call them fireflies here. No, we call them lightning bugs.
Yeah.
But down south they're called fireflies. We call big tractor trailers, we call them a tractor trailer. People in the south call them 18-wheelers, I think. And then in the west they call them semis. So I think flapjack might be like a
Colloquialism.
colloquialism, yeah. Kind of like how certain people say catsup.
Yeah.
You ever heard somebody say
That's
that?
annoying as shit.
It's annoying because it's like, where are you from, dude, and
Yeah.
why are you saying that? First of all, I don't like ketchup to begin with.
Yeah, yeah.
And the fact that you're now taking a thing that I don't like and pronouncing it in a way that I don't like.
I don't really get the name either because it's a tomato sauce. Where does ketchup even come in?
Maybe because they thought tomato sauce. Well, no, tomato sauce is like,
Call that marinara, dude. There's not even. I guess you could just call it tomato sauce.
you could, but then you sound white trash a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I guess maybe they had to come up with different names because tomato sauce could be marinara, but technically it also could be ketchup. And so they were like,
Yeah.
look, instead of making these two condiments fight over it,
Instead of people making too sweet a spaghetti,
yeah,
let's get things figured out now.
let's just give them two completely ridiculous names so that there's no potential for confusion. Italians call marinara gravy.
I think that's not even true.
Me
I think
too.
that's like
I think that's a lot.
I think that's a New Jersey thing.
Yeah.
It's like a New Jersey, New York thing where like it's a bunch of old like Italians who are like, I've never been there, but I hear they call it gravy.
Yeah. Like you've never been
And
to
then they
Italy.
just tell everyone that.
Yeah, and they call it gravy on purpose.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you're going out of your way.
Yeah.
Like, you just asked for a side of gravy for your spaghetti, dude. And then you got gravy. And the waiter looked at you weird. And then you looked at them weird for giving you gravy when that's what you fucking ordered, dude.
Yeah.
That's what you fucking ordered. But though you can get mixed up. I remember because you can call Arnold Palmer, which is iced tea and lemonade, you can call that a half and half.
Yeah.
And we had this one server when I was working at Melting Pot. And people also call table cream half and half, like
Yeah,
creamer,
of
coffee
course.
creamer.
Yeah.
So this table asked our dumb idiot server, he was a really cool guy, but he was such a airhead. He was a doofus. I think doofus, like I've never met, he
Doofus.
was a doofus.
I think that's still okay in this.
You can call
climate.
people doofus because there's a exact certain type of person that comes to mind when you think of it. It's like a nice, funny, just doofus. You're a
Yeah.
fucking doofus. And that's what he was. and they were like, the person was like, okay, can I get a Coke? And the other person was like, can I get a half and half? And he walks back with a fucking Coke and a little boat of half and half. And they just looked at him like, what is this? And he was
Yeah.
like, you asked for half and half. Like, first of all, why would they order a little...
Just they're going to put it in their water?
Yeah, a little
Like, what the
gravy
fuck?
boat of fucking table cream to
Yeah.
drink. When I go to a restaurant, I just get a nice little gravy boat of half and half table creamer. I don't know if I call it half and half though. I call it creamer, but I feel like creamer sounds white trash.
Creamer? Yeah, I don't know. I don't use it at all, so I don't really call it anything. I know there are different types of creamer though, so I think like half and half is like what, like calf fat milk
Yes.
or whatever.
Mhm. And that shit never goes bad.
Really?
Yeah, never. I've never seen it go bad. I've had it for a long time.
I've been sick that entire time I've had it, but
Like, I always have light table cream in my fridge because if I do decide to splurge and indulge myself and treat myself on a particular morning with cream in my coffee, I like doing that creamer, dude. I don't put milk in my fucking coffee. That's bullshit.
yeah.
So I'll put the creamer in, and it's really good. And the expiration date will say, like, June 12th, and I'll still be using it in, like, August. And I'll smell it every time, and it smells perfectly fine. The more fat you have in the milk, the longer it lasts. Because fat, I think, is a preservative.
Yeah, I believe that. But also, wait, maybe not, because I feel like fat's the first thing to go rancid in an animal carcass. Potentially. I don't know. Look that up. I'm going to pee real quick.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
I'm going to look it up, dude. Okay, Google. Hold up. God damn it. All right, we're about to find this out once and for all, people.
Sorry, I don't understand.
That's because I haven't asked you a question yet. Here we go. Is fat a preservative? How is fat a preservative? How is it? Does fat preserve food? It creates an environment where bacteria can't thrive. Add that to grease, which isn't a great environment for bacteria growth either, and you've got a decent preservation method. The fat essentially seals out the bacteria, much like waxing your jellies. Eric's going to love this. And now we have the opposite, just preservatives make you fat. Okay, that's a nice little twist. Eating a preservative widely used in breads, baked goods, and cheese may trigger metabolic responses that are linked to obesity and diabetes. The additive, called propionate, is actually a naturally occurring fatty acid produced in the gut. All right, so I got two answers for you, dude.
Okay.
Google decided to hit me with a little curveball.
Interesting. So
And-
I had a thought. Let me try to guesstimate. I had a thought when I was peeing.
Okay.
Is fat in a liquid form a preservative? Because I was thinking fat as Because when I make like beef jerky or something, like you have to trim all the fat out, or else that'll be the first thing that goes rancid.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking about.
Okay.
But hit me with this.
All right. So,
Also, can I get a
yeah, for sure. Fat, from what I understand,
PHAT?
PHAT is a
The
preservative.
rating system.
Yes. Is a preservative. It says that if you seal something inside of it, it keeps the thing inside of it because it seals out the bacteria, because fat is not a good environment for bacteria.
Okay.
Then I Googled, is fat a preservative? And then I got another question, which was, do preservatives make you fat? Which is also a question. And
Good question.
yeah, and it turns out that yes, they do. So which leads me to believe that the reason preservatives make you fat is because fat is a preservative.
That would make sense why, like, you know, very fat people, even if they're not eating as much, they still stay fat.
And they stay preserved.
Because their fat is preserving
Yes.
their weight.
Yes. Maybe it's a thing where
Something, I don't really know.
if fat is preserving
It's
their
all on the
weight.
fly.
High science right now. No, I mean, fat, yeah, I would say fat, but I would think the oldest school preservative is salt.
For sure.
Or I think if you smoke stuff too, right?
Smoking is a preservative. But if we're talking about the first, definitely salt.
Salt is definitely the
Salt
original.
for sure. People would go out and like kill shit, gut it right where it stands, and then throw it salted in their bag and take it home. Because they didn't have like refrigerator. That people would just keep everything in salt.
Yeah. Well, I think really the idea behind having a preservative is you got to have something that organisms can't thrive on. That's all it is.
Yeah.
A bacteria tries to chill on salt.
You just need
dude.
to make an like anaerobic environment or something,
Yes,
right?
Yes, yes. So that's why they embalm people in formaldehyde,
Yeah.
because I guess the shit doesn't go in there. I'm not getting embalmed, dude. Fuck that. I don't want to be pumped full of that shit.
Yeah, I kind of just assume I would get cremated. Mainly just to like not hog up a bunch of land forever.
Yeah, and
It's
after
like it's kind of insane because like we think about that now where like everyone's buried in cemeteries like pretty much around the world, but like every other civilization before us also did that.
Mm-hmm.
And when we got here, we just fucking built new shit over it.
yeah,
We're like-
you're like, dude, fuck it.
I mean, that's Poltergeist. I watched Poltergeist the other week. That's
yeah?
literally what Poltergeist is. We're like a housing development community, just like they say they're moving unmarked graves and shit on development sites, whereas like they're just putting tombstones. They're just moving tombstones. They're not moving the actual bodies, and then like the spirits were angry about that.
Well, I feel like they would have been mad either. I feel like that's a lose-lose situation if you're a person, because I feel like if I was a spirit, I'd be mad that you're moving my body too. I'd be like, dude, quit desecrating me, bro. Which I guess is desecrating. That's the only time you can really use that word. It's when it has to do with dead
Probably.
bodies. Desecrate. Quit desecrating me, bro. But after Archie, because Archie used to be a grave
He's a
digger.
groundskeeper,
Yeah.
grave digger, whatever.
And he was telling stories about, like, he would do exhumings all the time. And he would just dig them up. And then if they didn't pay the rent for the plot, like if the person who was paying for it died or just like went rogue and stopped paying for it, they would just dig you up and burn you.
yeah.
So it's like, dude, at a certain point, I'm getting dug up and burned anyway. Might as well get it over with from the jump.
yeah.
Because at least that'd be cooler. At least then you can pick like what you want to be burned in, which I think is a ridiculous concept. Is I want to
Yeah.
be burned in this $5,000 thing. It's like, why, dude? You're literally gonna throw it right into the fire.
Yeah.
But I also want to be thrown out to sea.
Yeah, I wouldn't know where I'd want to be thrown out. I feel like that's something I'll figure out later in life.
Yeah, or not.
Or not. Maybe
Or
they'll
not.
just
Maybe just
fucking
off a mountain or something.
Yeah,
dude. Something
something.
cool. But that's the thing. It's like
in Lochraven.
yeah,
Just
in
the
Locker.
water
like,
supply.
None of these things are things that like. Why would I get buried at sea? Was I a big sea guy?
Yeah, were you in the Navy?
Yeah, like who looks at Jimmy? He's like, oh yeah, Jimmy, he's got to be buried at sea.
Yeah, a
He
man
loved-
of the water.
He loved the sea. No, he didn't. Fucking bury me
He
at
liked the
fucking
ocean.
rec room, dude.
He liked the beach.
I like the beach.
Turn him into a sandcastle.
Yeah, dude. If you just rolled up to the beach with a cooler with like Corona lights and then my body and just fucking threw me out in the sand, bunch of fucking seagulls come down and
You just
fucking
get stuck in the crashes right on shore, and you're like tumbled all the way from Ocean City up to Bethany.
I still managed to get COVID. God damn it. No escaping this shit.
They still mark it as a COVID death.
The ashes of Jimmy Selesky contracted coronavirus.
He was airborne, so it was only a matter of time.
Oh man. I was driving the other day. Hard to believe, but I was on 95, and I was doing 80 on 95. And anything over 80 in the state of Maryland is reckless driving.
As long as you don't go over the number that the highway is, I think you're good.
Yeah. Like I-695?
Well, for something like that, you do 69 and a half.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. You don't fucking break the sound barrier. Officer, I thought that was the speed limit. I was only doing 150.
Exactly.
I had a lot of headroom there, dude. Leave me alone. I was going 80 in the fast
To the
lane.
flow of traffic, dude. Did you see the guy in front of me?
And this guy was tailgating the fuck out of me in the fast lane. And this is a recurring debate that I always find myself in with other people and myself and other drivers on the road.
Yeah. Because technically in other states, that is like a passing lane.
Yes.
But that's not the case for Maryland.
Yes. That's point one, which automatically means you're a dick. So you're already wrong.
Yeah.
Now, point two, even if you want to ignore that first point, let's say I was doing this in a different state. Say I was in Pennsylvania. I'm already doing 20 over, dude.
Yeah.
You're tailgating me at 80-something miles per hour, which is extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
And you're trying to get me to move out of the way so you can do more than 20 over the speed limit.
Yeah.
At that point, like...
You're a hero.
Yeah, it's like, dude, if you want to go reckless driving, do that shit on your own time. Like, if you want to fucking go 95 on I-95... You can go around.
Be my fucking guest.
I'm not getting the fuck out of your way so you can fly down the highway. Dude, that's... I just... You know, he finally... I just stayed there and just cruise control to 80.
Yeah.
And he was just behind me for like 2 miles and finally went around. And he drives by and he just gives me this look like... And I was like... What, dude?
Yeah.
What? I'm not moving. I'm not fucking
get
moving.
over
What are
it.
you going to do? Get over. Get over and get over it.
Exactly.
Jesus.
I had a thing like that happen when I was leaving Giant the other day. Well, not exactly like that, but I was leaving the parking lot of Giant, and like I was kind of going on the end. So like if we think of the parking lot like the grocery store, someone was coming out of one of the aisles and I was on the end where you kind of have the right of way.
Got it.
So they just were slowly eking into like a left turn in front of me. And I'm like, what are you doing? So I just like keep going, and then they almost like run into me and they're like, what? Like, what the heck? And it's like, dude, you aren't paying attention or understand traffic at all. Like, you're making a left-hand turn. You never have the right of way if you're making a left-hand turn.
Left-hand
Like,
turn is the most heavily discriminated group of drivers in all of driving, dude. You have no rights.
Yeah, you have no rights.
If you're making a left, dude, go fuck yourself.
So then they beeped at me. I hear them like cursing through my windows, and I'm like, are you serious? So I make it my mission at that point to just literally go as slow as possible.
Hell yes.
And for the
dude.
next like 3 minutes, which should have taken like 30 seconds, I was just like inching my way forward, stopping at a stop sign way too long, slow right. And then finally, I'm like watching the light. It was like green, and then it finally turns to yellow. And I'm like, all right, I'll speed up now because I'm gonna make a right-hand turn on red, and you got to turn left. And now you're gonna wait another whole light cycle because of me.
Yeah, dude. Fuck you and your left turning ass, dude. I was driving and I was on a delivery when I was back in my delivery pizza boy days 2 months ago, and I accidentally switched into a lane where another person was in, and I was wrong. I fucked up. She was my blind spot. And so I got in front of her. It didn't cause an accident. I waved, sorry, sorry, sorry. She just laid on the horn for like 30 seconds. And then she drives around me and literally takes her car and tries to sideswipe me. Like she took her car like literally into my lane.
Jesus
trying
Christ.
to sideswipe me. And I was like, are you an insane person?
Jesus Christ.
I was like, what are you trying to do? Like the amount of confidence that you had that I was going to get out of the way of that.
Yeah. I've never had that happen, luckily. But
Yeah,
that's like an intense case of like weird road rage.
Yeah, that's weird road rage. And it's also like I can understand if you were like a big ass dude, but like let's say we did get in an accident, like what are you gonna do? Like if we come out, you're gonna like yell at me. What if I was a fucking freak myself?
Yeah.
What if I just beat your ass?
Yeah.
It's like, don't do that shit.
It's also like, what's going to happen? Like the cops are going to come and you're going to say, he almost hit me by accident. So then I retaliated and sideswiped his car on purpose.
Yeah, like we're in fucking NASCAR or something.
It's like, okay, you're obviously in the wrong.
Yeah.
Why do you think you have a case here? That's like the crazy thing too. Like with a situation like that, like you literally can't reason with that person. Like they're just going to be completely irrational and not understand why.
Mm-hmm. And it's a terrible thing because you can't. There's no recourse. Like you can't really actually debate your point. Like I would have loved the opportunity to just the guy that was tailgating me on 95 to send him this clip.
Yeah.
And be like, dude, if you're trying to do 95 miles per hour, I'm not getting out of your way. That's your fucking problem, dude. That's your life.
Yeah.
You're not affecting my life. I'm just trying to get to a gig, and I'm already going way too fast.
Yeah, that shit's rough.
It's fucking brutal is what it is.
Yeah. There was some drama in the comedy scenes this last week.
I've been hearing about it, but I have no idea what it was, but I just saw a bunch of posts. People were posting about something happened. What happened?
I don't even know if I even want to talk about it on the podcast, just to like... I don't want to like
anonymous.
I'll keep it anonymous. I'll give so like I think it was like last Friday or Saturday or something, like there was a thing with the Baltimore Improv group where they've been having issues with their leadership and like a bunch of other things have happened, but apparently a lot of the members like wrote a letter to the board and they're trying to get some changes done because like there's some weird like racism shit going on, some other things going on, which was like totally valid. And they came out and they're like, hey, we talked to the board. Like literally the Baltimore Improv group, like the Facebook page was like Black Lives Matter. And then like everyone was like, well, so how come you haven't like done anything about the internal stuff that's been going on where like you don't want to give black troops control over a show because like blah, 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 or this, that, and the third. Mm-hmm. And then after that stuff started stirring up, a party that will go unnamed started making their own drama about some issues that they had, which I could kind of sum up their issues as they were just kind of bad at their job, but they were allowed to do it for like a long time without having to make any changes or fix it or anything. But essentially like a booker cut ties with the venue, but then they used another group's spotlight to be like, hey, I'm not getting enough attention, let me cause a ruckus over here and try to like get people canceled for something that they didn't do.
Do I know this person?
Yeah, probably. We'll talk about it after the show.
Yeah.
But I don't know. At least for me, like the person in question didn't do themselves any favors by like doing this at this time.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people from Big were like, hey, why are you using our hashtag for something that's not even related? You're taking like, you're hijacking this. And also like people are now talking about this and not the thing that's actually important right now. And it was a whole fucking thing, but it kind of ended in the individual getting owned like 10 times over,
Oh yeah.
and then eventually just deleting all of their posts.
Good.
No, it was great. It was honestly great to see. I feel like it was a long time coming. I've talked about like karma on the podcast before, I feel like, where it's like there is such a thing as karma, but you just never know if you'll actually see the effects of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and a lot of times in life you don't. I can only recall one time before this where I actually was like, damn, they got hit by karma. But now this is the second time that I've just been like, no, I wasn't crazy. I didn't like have any weird feelings about this. This person was just like bad.
Yeah.
And everyone was also on the same page. But since they decided to start this weird petty thing,
So their problem was they basically took, like, they were involved with that group, I imagine, right?
it was a different thing completely.
And they basically just used the attention that this other issue was getting to then make
To
it
air
their
out their
issue.
own grievances and
I
try to
mean-
start a whole nother thing.
I mean, that sounds like, first of all, that is exactly what we were talking about last week about how all those hashtags work.
Yeah, exactly.
About how there's a legitimate grievance and then a bunch of people use that as an opportunity to be like, oh, but this means now I can use this platform to make it about me and my
Yeah.
issues and my problem, to the point where then it becomes not even about the original thing anymore, and you're actually worse for the cause. Even
Exactly.
though you're purporting yourself as someone who's good for the cause. So are they like canceled in the Baltimore comedy scene?
I mean, they kind of like, you know, aside from pandemic, they were kind of like getting like they were kind of pushing themselves out of it. But, you know, after all this shit, I think they just were like, it's my time to shine. I'm going to just go out in a blaze of fire, but then accidentally lit themselves on fire.
Yeah. I like I said, I only saw a couple posts about it. I saw Matt just posted something who's improv is not comedy. I was like, that's true. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't actually agree with it, but I low-key agree with that. And I thought that was a solid take, because I was
Yeah.
like, okay, something's going on, because I just saw so many people like saying weird things, and I'm just friends with a lot of them, like, adjacently.
Yeah.
So I was like, something's going on here.
Just saw a lot of people like subtweeting,
Yeah.
essentially.
It's like, what the hell is happening? I feel like the Baltimore comedy scene is just, there's always something with you guys.
For sure.
Dude. It's so,
I mean, that's how it is in every comedy scene, I'm pretty sure. But at least ours like is very petty, or like just like why? Like,
Yeah.
it's either like someone doing something like what happened this past weekend, or like someone faking cancer and having like a show to raise money, or like it's all kind of like I don't know. It's all very weird stuff. But then in other scenes, it's like, oh, there's like a fucking serial rapist.
Yeah,
Or like,
yeah.
oh shit, someone was like funneling money out of this or that.
Mm-hmm.
At least Baltimore is like somewhat innocent.
yeah, you guys just have like, don't like,
Ours is
little
like high
petty-
school
yeah,
drama.
yeah.
Other stuff is like fucking Epstein shit.
I never understood, like, because, you know, I obviously have a lot of friends in the Baltimore music scene. Actually, probably I have more friends in the comedy scene than the music scene, realistically. But I have a good amount in both. And that stuff really doesn't exist on that level. Like, every once in a blue moon, you'll hear something about something, but it's never even close to what you're talking about. Like, it's somebody just calls out a venue for not paying enough, and it just, like, they just start paying more, and it's over with, you know?
Yeah.
And I always wondered, like, why is it that with comedy, I'm wondering, maybe it's just because, the majority of your time is spent, like every show is like a bunch of you, like open mics. You guys are always around each other. You guys are basically like coworkers.
Yeah.
Whereas with music, it's like, I'm playing here, that guy's playing there. Unless you're like doing the open mic scene for music, which there really isn't a big open mic scene in Baltimore in general. I mean, there's open mics, but it's not like a scene, you know?
Yeah.
And so I guess we don't spend enough time around each other to like foster drama, but also maybe just because comedy tends to attract character, like it's very like
Yeah.
everybody's like very opinionated, everybody's very like like about like their voice and like what they're doing, and so it just leads to clashes constantly.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I'm very glad to hear. I still don't know who this person is. I can't wait to hear it. But like, if you're happy they got, I'm happy they got, dude. You know?
No, yeah, it was a good getting.
Well, it's weird that those people are allowed. The people that basically make a living out of fucking people over. It's disheartening how far they can get and how long they can go doing.
Well, and also like how delusional they are. That it's like, this is my legitimate job is just scraping up money from people to perform at a place I don't even have to rent. And I'll also take all the ticket sales and not pay the performers. And yeah, I'm doing this because this is my full-time job. And well, yes, I made it my full-time job by scamming a bunch of people, but I don't know why that should be held against me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, that exists in every industry. I mean, you have the fucking show bookers. Like, that's why I never really got too into doing like the ticketed shows with like, because John has dealt with a lot of those types of people.
Yeah, where you have to like sell 50 tickets up front or whatever.
Yeah, and they take a portion of it, and they don't put any care into making the show actually like. The only time I've ever done anything like that was that time. It was like the first real show I ever did, which was at the Sidebar when I was like 19, and I showed up, and there was like, you know, 3 other acts, and they were all like everybody was a different type of thing. It was like there was a fucking dudes with fucking piercings and tattoos playing like loud ass heavy metal and shit, and I'm up there playing acoustic guitar with Will on bass and sweater vests, and I'm like, literally the person who booked this had no other thing in mind other than, let me just fill this slot and take the sales. I'm not interested in if this show is going to be something that someone's going to want to come back to.
Yeah.
It's a very short-sighted mentality where you're gonna get over on people once and make that your living. Like, I'm gonna book these people and then I'm not gonna pay them. I'm gonna book a shitty show. I'm just gonna fill the room.
Yeah.
However I have to do it. It's not gonna have anything to do with whether or not people are gonna come to this show, enjoy it, and then want to come back next time. And then I can continue making money by putting out a good product, or continue making money by establishing good relationships with the talent in the city or wherever. It's like they are literally looking at everything like a one-time deal. Like, let me just do this. And then, yeah, we call it karma. And in those aspects, like, it's not like, the reason I truly believe in karma is because I don't consider karma a mystical type of thing. Like, I know it can be like when they talk about like, oh, in a past life and shit like that, but just in raw terms, like, it's science to me. It's like every action has an equal and opposite reaction. And like, if you live your life doing good shit and being good by people, then that will come back to you. And I've had those experiences in life where like, yeah, I try to help people and help people out whenever they need me for anything. And then in times when I've needed help, those people were the first ones to be like, yo, I'm gonna help you out because you helped me out, you know? Yeah. And it's the same thing, but those moments I don't realize those moments until I do find myself in a position where I need somebody's help. And it's like, oh shit, now that I need somebody's help, and you see all these people coming out to help you, and it's like, oh cool, that's paying off. But it's the same thing where these people are allowed to go through life being shitty and screwing people over, and they're allowed to do it until they're in a position where they might need somebody to like not screw them over, and then they get fucked over. And that's what karma is, because it's like you've done bad.
What? And yeah, that was exactly what happened. It was like, this person came out and tried to like blame all of their own faults on a single person and try to get them like canceled, and like they spread it to like any Facebook group they could all across the country. Like they had like this was like all thought out. It was like premeditated, because like it was really kind of crazy, like to watch
diabolical.
To watch it happen. It was like, this person is like, I'm not like a doctor or anything, but like they need help right now.
Yeah, it's like sociopathic.
This like isn't even funny right now. Like this is like, I'm just watching someone have a breakdown online, and the thing that happened was, because they had like never treated anyone right, so many people came out against them to be like, oh, here's this specific situation of you abusing me, or this is this specific situation of you not booking any black women, and specifically booking me to come drive like an hour and a half or whatever, and like then you don't pay me for gas or anything, and it makes me not want to come back. And then also, why was I the only black person on the show? You're in Baltimore, like
Yeah.
So there was just so many people that like the reverse is like,
Yeah.
you impacted so many people negatively that like they were willing to counter anything you were trying to do to anyone else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, it's like money in the bank. It's like a bucket of water slowly filling up over your head when
Yeah.
you're a piece of shit or when you're a good person. And
Yeah.
eventually that bucket's going to tip and you're going to get fucking rained down on by whatever the fuck is in that bucket.
Yeah.
Because it's going to happen. And then that's when you really start to realize, and like, maybe, look, one would like to think that maybe them having had this experience, it might motivate them to consider the things that they've been doing wrong and maybe try to go about it in a better way in the future.
I don't know.
Or they
I
might just
doubt
double
it.
down and convince themselves that everyone that came out against them are pieces of shit.
Yeah.
And then, maybe just either drop out of the scene or try it in another city, try it in a different group of people. It's like, I wonder if those people ever learn, because I wonder, like, no one really ever, I guess, no one really ever had to explain to me, or I imagine you, or any of like our friends who we're all like stand-up dudes, that is the way to be, you know, to just like, there's certain things that you just have like an understanding of. Like I have an understanding of reciprocity and the idea that like the best examples I can think of are like when you go out to the bar. When I was serving, I would always go out to the bars with my coworkers, and you could immediately tell what type of person people were by like if you get them a drink, are they ever going to get you a drink? And it's not something you expect, but it's almost like a little social probe you put out there. It's like, what kind of dude are you? Are you the kind of dude who's going to take advantage of the fact that I'm the type of dude that I'll go out to bars and stuff like that and buy drinks because I'm truly invested in everybody having a good time.
Yeah.
And so if I'm sitting at a table with 5 of our friends and I'm thinking like, what would really fucking turn this night up a notch is if we all just got a round of like bombs or something like that. If we just got like a round of shots, that would just like, it's just kind of like a reset. Everybody does a shot. It's like a bringing everybody together type thing.
Yeah.
And then you get the shot in you, and it kind of amps things up a little bit. It's like, I want that for everybody, so I'll do it. But there's also the type of people that will hang out with those types of people because they know that like, oh, if I go to the bar with this dude, like he always fucking racks up the tab, and like I wind up with a whole bunch of shots, and I'll fucking stand there in the background when they're doing the shots head count, and like I haven't said a fucking word to you all night, but all of a sudden I'm next to you when you're buying shots. It's like you can always tell those types of people, and like it's like no one had to explain. It's the same thing like when you go to the bar. I think bars really good like microcosm, all the stuff we're talking about. Like the bartenders will, if they like you, they will like not charge you for a whole bunch of shit, and like you'll get hooked up.
Or like if it's busy, they might come to you first, even though you got there late.
Yes.
Like
And then but when they don't charge you a lot, the kind of like expectation is that like, okay, well, because you didn't charge me a lot, I'm gonna tip you like way more than what I would have, like if my tab should have been 50 and it winds up being 30, then I know that I would have had to pay like if I tipped a clean 20%, I would have spent $60.
Yeah.
But since you're only charging me 30, I could tip you 15, like more than I would have, and still have saved $15.
Yeah.
But other people might look at that and be like, oh, I'm gonna tip you $6 now. Like, thanks for hooking up, bro. It's like, well, me hooking you up just cost me money. So then it's like, but then, like you said, then the next time you walk in the bar, if you hook them up, yeah, they will come to you first. They will then, and they will continue to, and you wind up saving, like by giving, you wind up saving more.
Yeah.
Like by being a generous person, and like those are kind of things that like, I guess a lot of people just, they either don't get it or they don't believe in it. And they really, I think that does come from this very short-sighted type of like in the moment type of person that's going to be like, I'm going to do what's best for me at this very moment. What's best for me at this very moment is you hook me up on the tab, and so I'm going to save money on the tip too. I'm gonna fucking do this. Like, what's best for me in this moment is I'm hanging out with these dudes and they're gonna buy me a round of shots. What's best for me in this moment is I'm gonna book a shitty show and just put whoever the fuck I want on there and not pay out properly and not do this because that's going to make me the most money in this specific moment. And they have no concept of the fact that all this stuff is always floating out. Everything you've done, everything you've said is somewhere. It's sitting out there, dude. Maybe that's what a fucking ghost is, dude. It's just out there, the energy that you put out. And that energy, every now and then, is going to come back to you. And people that are shitty, they're going to have it come back to them. You know? And you love to see it.
You love
to see it.
Such a sight to see.
Oh man, I'm glad you told me. I'm glad you finally filled in the blanks for me, dude. Because I've been low key.
I'll fill in more after the cast.
Yeah.
How long have we been doing? I feel like we've been doing
we're working
a
on
decent.
2 hours. I was just gonna say, a little pop culture corner.
Okay.
Have you watched WAP or WAP or whatever the fuck it is?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, that's I don't know if it's pronounced. I'm assuming it's pronounced WAP because WAP is
wet ass pussy.
Yeah. What'd you think about that, dude?
I mean, it was cool. I'd see a lot of people like getting angry at it and all this other stuff. Like, I just think it's a Cardi B Meg Thee Stallion video. Like, what do you expect? Like, what do you like? And not in like a what do you expect? They're whores. It's like no. It's like they're like sex sells and entertainment. Like their brand is like they're an alpha woman, and it's like that's what the song is.
Yeah.
I saw like Ben Shapiro. I saw a like clip on Twitter where like someone clipped out Ben Shapiro reading the lyrics, and he's like, "This wet ass P word, slide it on the D word, for this wet ass P word, and P word is female genitalia in this song." And it's just like, of course, if you do anything that way, it's gonna fucking sound weird and dumb.
He really does make me cringe when he just refuses to like. It's like, dude, just fucking say the word.
And also,
you
like,
sound like such a
fucks up like the timing, so it sounds like it doesn't rhyme or like it's just weird. It's like, and then like, I don't get it. I don't get. There's just something that needs to happen every week where everyone's up in arms about it.
Yeah.
Like I think it's just generated by mainly fucking like Nicki Minaj fans because they're still mad at Cardi B for not liking Nicki or whatever.
Yeah. I watch it. The only thought that came to my mind was like, well, first of all, I've seen a billion videos like that. I don't know why this particular video is getting so much attention.
I also saw that
other videos.
Apparently Carol Baskins was pissed off that there were big cats in the video.
Oh no, she's trying to get back in the limelight, baby.
But also like the whole thing was CGI. Like everything was on a green screen. Like I'm sure the cats weren't even in the same room as them as they shot that shit. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
I just think there needs to be something in the news like this every week.
Exactly. That's
and
why
this just happens to be the one.
Yeah. I just brought it up because I know it was like something I've seen a lot of people talking about, and I just watched it for the first time today, and I was like, okay, this is a typical Cardi B song. I'm not really a big fan of Meg Thee Stallion.
Me neither.
I don't find her that attractive.
Yeah, same.
She probably don't find me that attractive either. So
exactly.
Who
It's
cares?
mutual.
I'm just like, I don't get it. Cardi B is
Meg Thee Stallion looks like she's a fucking linebacker or something.
Yeah, it's like
And like I don't even think she's that tall, but I think she's just tall and has like a wide set shoulder. Something's going on where it's like it's not like a weird like, oh, she looks like a man. Like she definitely looks like a woman, but like it's just like not my type of woman.
Yeah, she's like
it looks like she was on the swim team and has like huge shoulders or like
she's like a hotter. Well, she is kind of like a Missy Elliott type character, but she's like a hotter Missy Elliott. But I don't like Nicki Minaj, dude. When she was in the fucking Tekashi 6ix9ine video, I was like, whoa, Nicki Minaj.
Yeah,
was
Nicki Minaj is
it.
crazy.
Like killing it, and Cardi B kills it. And also, I'm a big fan of Doja Cat.
Yeah, Doja Cat kills it.
Doja Cat is a fucking babe and a half. But yeah, Meg Thee Stallion doesn't do it for me. But yeah, I was watching the video. I was just like, it is kind of crazy because it's like, the only thing I was going to say, it is kind of weird that kind of stuff is considered, I guess, like alpha female. It's weird how like we kind of went from a society where now we look at that type of thing and we consider that like empowering. Like I look at that and I'm like, I don't know if that's like a necessarily empowering thing to be like, that's like, just, I don't know. You know, I look at it and it's like, if that's what makes you feel empowered. But like, so like, just in general with like, I heard a nice quote over the weekend, and this has nothing to do with WAP at all. But I was talking extensively with your brother the other night. And it was, I'm going to pull it up. It was a T.S. Eliot quote. It's probably my fucking history.
Do you know what in the music video they don't say wet ass pussy, they say wet and gushy.
Yeah.
Wag.
What's his like? We don't know what you're talking about, baby. We know what you're talking about.
It's almost like worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Wet and gushy.
Yeah.
It's like more descriptive.
Yeah, you're like, now I know.
Now I know exactly what
I
you're
have
talking
full
about.
imagery of what we're talking about right now. We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and to know the place for the first time. And I was thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
And how when I was younger, I had all these ideas about how, like, you know, I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, I didn't get with girls. Need to pick this up so I can fidget with it. I need to. And because I just had an idea of it that it was like not healthy, like not like good for you to do it. And then throughout the course of my life, I just slowly started to just cave on all those things. And then I was like, fuck it, dude, I'm going to drink. Fuck it, I'm going to hook up with girls. Fuck it, I'll smoke weed, drugs, whatever, who cares? But as I've gotten older, like I've realized, particularly, like I can see how drinking a lot actually does have a negative effect on just, you know, it has positive effects for sure, like being social, having a lot of friends you have great times with, and it certainly can be actually a very healthy part of being alive is to have you know, to be able to go out and drink and have a good time. Like,
yeah.
I think that's healthy to be social and things like that, and enjoying a cigarette or smoking weed with your friends and having cool conversations and shit. Like, that's all cool. And, you know, hooking up with girls and stuff like that, it's fun at the time. But there is this kind of like weird emptiness to it where, particularly when it comes to like being promiscuous and things like that, where it's like all these like weird moments of like realization. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, this is so weird to be like in this extremely intimate type of situation, that like you feel you're just like, it's just empty. It's just like, it's just, you just feel like you're trying to fill this void that you can't, and there's no amount of it that you'll ever get what you want out of it, you know, because ultimately you're looking for something else. And
yeah, you're like looking for a relationship if you're like doing a bunch of one night stands, but it's like you're trying to like get ass to be like, I'm not sad, I'm getting ass.
Exactly.
But then it's like, well, you're not really getting what you actually want though.
Yeah, exactly. And so there is a kind of thing when I think, and this is not particular to,
and that might not be the same case for everyone, but like, it's kind of like human baked into our like DNA to be like,
yes,
find someone you're compatible with, live on through your offspring. yes, but there's two things that are baked into our DNA. The first thing is the human desire to procreate and the desire for love and intimacy and things like that. So you have that. And the other is the human desire to get fucked up.
Yes. The natural biological desire to get fucking lit.
Exactly.
But yeah, you're trying to fill a void. So there has been kind of this vibe, and you wonder why. Like, why did people back in the day have much stricter mindsets about like premarital sex and all these other things? And like, yeah, I obviously I do that stuff all the time. But as I've gotten older, I can at least, I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to probably just continue doing what the hell I'm doing until I meet somebody that's worth settling down with. But as I progress through it, I'm slowly starting to now understand exactly why I had those ideas of all these things before I set out and did them.
Yeah.
Like, it was like when I was younger, I had an innate understanding of it, but I was the type of person that was like, well, I need to experience, because I'm not just going to believe it for the rest of my life and never have it known. But then you go out and you do it, and then over the course of time, you start to realize, wow, this is exactly what I thought it would be like.
Yeah.
And then I guess that's mature, and then you come back to square one, and that's why I thought that was a good quote, because it's like, yeah, like you set out on exploration, and then you end up right back where you started, but know it for the first time.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to the whole like thing, I guess the controversy about the WAP thing is like, it's a fun song for sure. And I think there is emblematic of, I just, it's hard for me as a person to think that like, I really, to me it is sad in a certain way that is considered, that young girls would be watching that and thinking that that's what it is to be like a bad bitch, you know? And it was the first time I thought about it and was like, if I had like a daughter in middle school, how would I feel about her like watching this kind of shit? And it's nothing to do with them. It's nothing to do with them. I have no problem. I actually like the song, but I love the
that's
video.
like more on the parents.
Yeah,
at
exactly.
That point, where it's like, I mean, that kind of shit was around when we were kids.
Yeah, for sure.
Like there was fucking everyone would go to BET to watch the music videos because they were way juicier than the MTV ones.
Juicy, gushier.
They're wet and gushy
than MTV. But I guess I just had like an old man thought today that I thought was, and of course my old man thought is never going to be like, well, this is terrible.
It's also like,
it's just like,
I get that it's like on YouTube, but also like if you're not watching what your kid's doing on the internet and they're like still impressionable like that, and you think like that would be the end of their morality or whatever, it's like they could have easily just clicked a porn link in the same amount of time that Cardi B song came up, and it would have been 10 times worse. Like,
oh yeah, or 10 times better,
depending on which one they got. But,
exactly. Yeah, but altogether good. I thought it was an interesting video. I mean, I wasn't amazing.
I think the bigger thing right now is that fucking Jake Paul got arrested by the FBI.
Yeah, for having like automatic shotguns and shit.
Yeah,
like,
well, that was the thing that came out after the fact, where they're like, his arrest was not related to firearms. And I saw on my blind item website, it said one of the most popular YouTube stars is getting processed to be arrested for drug trafficking and the creation of pornography with unknowing participants. And then that came out the same day he got taken in by the FBI. So who knows, folks?
Why, dude? Fucking why, if you're making all that money, are you still doing... I've never understood that, dude.
Because it's like, I don't know, it's kind of like keeping up with the Joneses, dude. It's like you want to keep up the appearance that like, yeah, I'm this fucking rich multimillionaire and I made it all on my own from YouTube and t-shirts.
I cannot imagine, like, when you see like athletes and stuff that get taken in for like trafficking drugs. It's like, dude, you make millions and millions of dollars a year. I can understand doing drugs.
Yeah.
I don't mind when somebody gets caught with cocaine possession. I'm like, yeah, dude, you're fucking rich. You were partying. You had coke on you. I've had coke
Johnny
on me before
Depp.
too.
It's obvious.
Yeah, it's like whatever.
We get it.
But trafficking it? You really need the extra buck from trafficking cocaine when you're making millions of dollars already?
But also, like, I don't know at that point if it's like, are they the ones, like, are they the masterminds or are they like a puppet? Like, did some like cartel like force them to like traffic shit on their private jet, or like just because like, of course, like rappers or baseball players or whatever, like they're gonna fly private, so there's no TSA and all that shit. So it's like, that's the best way to do it. So is it a thing that they were in on it, or was it a thing where they were being forced to do it?
Extorted.
Yeah, you never know.
Now that would be crazy. I could see that though. That makes sense. Yeah,
I could see that more so than him being a fucking like Scarface, like drug lord.
Yeah, especially if you're an athlete where you're constantly traveling to different cities, private, and you can just, hey, can we put this on your cargo hold?
Yeah.
You bring it to this city, somebody will pick it up. All we're asking is to let us put it on your plane. and we'll pay you the X
we'll
amount of
give you
dollars.
whatever.
Or if not, we might fuck with you a little bit.
Yeah.
That happens, dude. So, you know, but as far as Jake Paul, dude, come on, bro. Come on, dude. And his brother's Logan Paul, right?
Yeah.
And he's the one who
I mean, he's gonna get no sympathy from anyone.
yeah, I mean, Logan Paul, I feel
They
like
both suck.
his big thing was when he found the dead body in
In Japan.
But that one I was like, come on. Like, it seemed like when I watched that, there was a part of me that, like, in my, like, immature mind, I could the kind of dark sense of humor that we had when we were younger and still have to this day, I could totally have seen us making jokes like that.
Yeah,
So-
but we wouldn't have put that shit on YouTube.
Yeah,
that's the
true.
thing.
That's
where
true.
it's like
That's true.
there was like a severe lack of judgment for
Yeah.
that. Where it's like, okay, I can totally see that same person with scrupulous morals start drug trafficking. Or like
Yeah.
it wasn't him, but it was his brother. So like, I don't know.
Yeah. So, but with Jake Paul, dude, the big thing for me is first of all, drugs. Who fucking cares? I don't care about drugs at all. But pornography with unknowing participants. That's a wild one.
Yeah, so he probably has like a dentist system set up where he's got cams all over his room and yeah, I don't know.
I wish I had a sex tape. Just for my own personal consumption, dude. I'm tired of using my imagination all the time, trying to
Yeah.
remember back on the good old days. I just never got around to asking. I have all these expensive ass cameras now.
I know, dude.
I could really make a movie if I wanted to.
You could make a podcast.
Yeah, I might start pitching that out there in my prenup. Do you consent to this? Also, can we film this? Well,
Yeah, that was the
that's-
only other thing I wanted to bring up though.
That's good, dude, because now it's got me on a whole new thought train of how I'm going to stockpile my own situations, baby. Get it at the studio from 3 angles, dude, with the camera switcher. Well, Jake Paul, you fucked up. You fucked up, Jake
big
Paul.
Kid, you fucked up big.
That's big news, dude.
It's pretty big.
And then as a result, they found out he was stockpiling all his weapons. When they said
Yeah.
automatic shotgun, I was like,
Dude, yeah.
yo, that's fucking crazy.
And
I didn't-
also a bad thing, I think I saw pictures of like guns with silencers and shit, and people are saying like that's just completely illegal in California.
oh,
So
for
like,
sure.
so if they don't get him on the other shit, he's getting on that and probably some other things. But hey, good riddance. I
You
don't really
love to
care.
see it.
You love to see it. You got anything coming up, Jimmy?
Oh, let's see. This week, much less illustrious than last week, I will be at the Valley Inn on Friday, August 14th from 5 to 9. That's a fun spot. It's right off Falls Road, right outside the city. It's technically in a little town called Brooklynville, which is, I call Lutherville, but everyone knows it's Lutherville. But it's a really cool spot. Nice outdoor bar, always a fun time. I'll be there from 5 to 9. Other than that, that's really all I have coming up this week. Not a big week for me. So you'll see a lot of me on mdunemployment.beacon.org or wherever the fuck it is.
There you go.
Because we're going to need it. But yeah, at Jimmy Selesky on everything. SOLESKY. Why? Like the sky.
Nice. I got nothing going on. Just check me out at Eric Glazer. Check out at LFTS Podcast all across the board. Give us some fucking ratings on iTunes. Go subscribe.
5 stars, 4
Fucking
stars.
heart
1
us
star.
on SoundCloud or whatever, or
Repost us.
Spotify. I don't fucking know how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tune in next week.
Peace.
Peace.